Hello everyone. In the previous discussion, we had seen about synthons and their respective synthetic equivalents and how the reagent system and the synthetic equivalents are same. We also tried to understand by certain reaction as to how we can synthesize a particular target molecule, understanding about their starting material. In this discussion, we shall be looking for transformations in retrosynthetic analysis. Now, in this particular discussion, we will be looking majorly for functional group interconversion. If I say functional group interconversion, it means it will involve oxidations, reductions, and substitutions. For example, if there is a presence of alcohol like ethyl alcohol, upon oxidation I can get an acetaldehyde. Further, upon further oxidizing system like KMNO4 and chromium oxide system, we can convert it into its respective acid. So this can be an example of functional group interconversions through an oxidation reaction. We can also observe functional group interconversions of reductions. Now for example, if we have a molecule like para-aminobenzoic acid, upon functional group interconversions, upon reduction, that means if in the place of NH2 I am writing an NO2. NO2 upon a reduction is going to give me an NH2 system, that is nitro group. Upon reduction I can get my amine system. If I look at this carboxylic system, functional group interconversions through oxidation, we can observe that in place of carboxylic group, if I write this methyl system, that means I have got a toluene system now. CH3 upon oxidation, it can give me a carboxylic system, that is methyl group. Upon oxidation it can give me a carboxylic system. In one particular example itself, I am trying to understand about oxidations and reduction in terms of functional group interconversions. Definitely in terms of substitutions also we can observe. Now for example, if there is a presence of systems like RCH2OH. Now when I have got a system like an alcoholic system, like for example, there is a presence of RCH2OH. This upon Br2, it can be converted to RCH2Br. Definitely this is not the right reaction that we can do. Instead of this, we can observe a substitution reaction in such a way that if I have got an RBr system, for example, if I am observing an RBr system, I can now introduce this into an ROH system. Here, what I am doing is bromine is acting as a good leaving group and OH gets introduced in terms of substitution reaction. So, functional group interconversions can have oxidations, reductions and substitutions. Functional group addition can also be seen. It is briefly given as FGA. Now for example, if there is a presence of cyclohexanone system, upon FGA, that is functional group addition, if I can introduce a C double bond C, that is I am trying to introduce a double bond system giving me a cyclohexanone system, such type of reaction is called as functional group addition. If there is a presence of functional group addition, definitely there can be functional group removal also. Now for example, if I observe this starting material as 2-hydroxycyclohexanone system, upon functional group removal, we can observe that OH group has been removed in my final system. That means we are trying to remove the functional group. If I can observe in the long chain, we can observe there is a presence of a CH2OH in this long chain chloride system. Instead of CH2OH, if there is a presence of CH3, what we have done is we have tried to remove an OH system utilizing a concept called as functional group removal. The next concept in functional group interconvergence would be functional group transposition. It is being given as FGT. Isomerization can be another term from the description of FGI. Now for example, in cyclohexenone system, I can observe that in the presence of alpha beta, now we can observe that observing here, or the target molecule that we are observing here has got an alpha beta unsaturation. Upon the isomerization of the double bond, I can observe that the double bond has moved to beta and gamma respectively. Now such type of transposition, it is called as functional group transposition. Continuing in terms of functional group interconversion itself, what is this functional group interconversions? It is an operation by which one functional group is converted to another by general chemical reactions like substitution, addition, elimination, oxidation or reduction. In functional group interconversion, all the categories of the reactions can be considered. To understand the concept of functional group interconversions, we must know about the concept of latent polarity. Now we need to understand this very important concept called as latent polarity. In this latent polarity, there are two patterns. One is called as consonant pattern, the other one is called as dissonant pattern. So to understand functional group interconversion, it is very important to learn about latent polarity, under which we will be doing two types of patterns. One is consonant pattern, the other one is called as dissonant pattern. Let us now discuss about consonant pattern. It is a coincident relationship of an overlapping latent polarities. We are trying to understand about the imaginary pattern through which we try to understand about the polarity of the molecule. Now for example, if there is a molecule given to us like this, now there is a long chain system. Because there is a presence of carbonyl carbon, I can say that on the carbon there can be a presence of positively charged system, and on the oxygen there is a partially negative charge. Alternatively, if I can observe, the next carbon should definitely be negatively charged. Then again the next carbon should be positively charged. Now this type of pattern is definitely imaginary. If I understand that there is a presence of one particular functional group, dependent on that I will be doing the whole pattern of the overlapping latent polarities. The latent polarities arising from each of the functional groups are added. We have observed here of each of the functional group. That is, first I considered carbonyl carbon, then I went on considering the long chain system. A very best example to understand this consonant pattern is 1,3-disubstituted compound. Now we can observe here that there is a disubstituted carbonyl carbon system. Here we have first understood there is a presence of carbonyl carbon. Definitely the carbon associated with the carbonyl carbon is positively charged. Now on to the left hand side also there is a negative charge, on to the right hand side also the positive charge. Further, when I look into the long chain system, again I can observe that there is a presence of a positively charged system onto the carbonyl carbon and a negatively charged system with respect to the next carbon. Obviously this carbon will be carrying a negative charge. Now here we can observe that I am starting from one side, that is I am starting from my left hand side. Let us try to do it from the right hand side. Again let us consider about this carbonyl carbon. Carbonyl carbon will have carbon as a positively charged, next again it will be negatively charged, again next carbonyl carbon will be positively charged. That means either if I start from the left hand side system or I start from the right hand side system, I can observe that there is overlapping of this latent polarities and we can visualize the consonant pattern of polarities. That means we can either start from the left hand side, we get the similar type of polarities, or we can start from the right hand side, we are again getting the similar polarities. The carbonyl carbon getting a positive charge due to oxygen and alternate positive negative charge pattern is latent polarities in the molecule. Definitely this has been an imaginary system, because by understanding that there is a presence of a carbonyl carbon, I can set up this consonant pattern. If we have understood this consonant pattern on a 1,3-di substituted compound or a 1,3-dicarbonyl compound, let us now try to understand about the dissonant pattern. It is a non-superimposable relationship of latent polarities. Now, we have seen this wavy structure. It means that once I have started with the left hand side, I have got one wavy structure, that is positive, negative, positive. Now if I have started with the right hand side, again it is positive, negative, positive. That means in such a way we can observe that these are said to be overlapping, or it can be said to be a superimposable system in the consonant pattern. But in the dissonant pattern, it will be non-superimposable relationship of a latent polarities. If the patterns of the latent charges are added, it becomes apparent that they are not superimposable. Definitely, we can observe that if there is a non-superimposable system, we can observe that sometimes we might not get the proper charges from when I start from the left hand side or when I start from the right hand side. Such a way I can understand about non-superimposable relationship. Now for example, we can understand this pattern by 1,4-dicarbonyl compound. Let us now try to understand this latent polarity with respect to the first carbonyl group. That means we are trying to understand with this first carbonyl group. We have marked there as carbonyl carbon number 1 and carbonyl carbon number 2. I am trying to understand from this particular carbonyl carbon. So carbonyl carbon will have a positive charge, so hence it will be a presence of negative charge here. Next it will be presence of a negative charge, positive charge. Again there is a presence of a positive charge and a negative charge. We can observe here that we are trying to alternate the system. We can observe that there is a negative charge, positive charge, but onto this carbonyl carbon I have to get an alternative positive charge, but in turn I am getting a negative charge. So this is one of the disadvantages of doing this dissonant pattern. If I try to understand this particular way of the dissonant pattern, I am not able to do a superimposability. Let us try to do it from the carbonyl carbon number 2. If I want to do it with carbonyl carbon 2, I can now start with this carbonyl carbon 2. Carbon will be carrying a positive charge, negative charge alternatively, and then there is a positive charge. Here there is a presence of a negative charge, positive charge, and I can observe that there is a negative charge which is getting generated onto the carbonyl carbon. That means if I start with the left hand side, I am getting one type of latent polarity, and I am starting with the right hand side of the carbonyl carbon, I am getting another type of polarity. That means I am not getting a proper superimposable system. Instead, the system is said to be non-superimposable. We can observe that till one point the charges can be acceptable. That means till this point the charges were acceptable. But further the charges were not acceptable because it did not fit into the knowledge of the organic chemistry. Again, when I started with the second carbonyl carbon, okay, the charges were acceptable till this point, but then it didn't fit into the next carbonyl carbon because the knowledge of the organic chemistry, it says that carbonyl carbon should carry a partial positive charge. So generally we cannot disconnect the target molecule into pair of synthons which can be linked simply under the control of the reactivity of carbonyl carbon. We cannot just have a cutting down of the molecule, or we cannot just cleave the molecule in such a way that it has to be just controlled by the carbonyl carbon. Hence, generally this dissonant pattern is not observed. Generally what we try to do is consonant pattern are used for functional group interconversion. Generally the patterns that we try to follow would be functional group interconversions. Now, To understand this consonant pattern and dissonant pattern, we have to try to understand in terms of an alpha beta unsaturated compound. Now this particular alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl carbon compound we can observe. We can do this under the two strategies. One is doing in terms of functional group interconversions through a consonant pattern and a dissonant pattern. Now for example, to do a consonant pattern at the beta position, I am converting that particular beta position into a hydroxy group. That means now I want to take my target molecule and at the beta position I want to convert it into a hydroxy group. Let us now change that group into an hydroxy group and try to understand the consonant pattern. Let us try to do a retrosynthetic analysis of my target molecule, that is my alpha beta unsaturation. So across this alpha beta unsaturation system, what is the functional group interconversions did I do? In place of the C double bond cis, I have just introduced an OH group. In this way, now we can try to do a consonant pattern. Now we know that there is a presence of a carbonyl carbon. Carbon will carry a positive charge. So alternatively there will be a negative charge, negative charge. With respect to this OH system, I can observe that oxygen will carry a partial negative charge. That is why carbon should carry a positive charge. So which is acceptable. And we get a consonant pattern. Now if I start from this side, that is I try to do from an OH system, the carbon will carry a positive charge, alternatively there will be a negative charge and there will be a positive charge onto the carbonyl carbon. Hence they are superimposable systems and we are getting a consonant pattern. If I cut the molecule at this particular position, that means I am trying to cut a C single bond C. The synthons that I will be getting is negatively charged system containing a carbonyl carbon and a positively charged carbocation system containing an OH group. The synthetic equivalents through which we can get this is acetophenone and benzaldehyde. The synthetic equivalents that we can get from the above synthons can be an acetophenone and benzaldehyde. So this is when I did an alpha beta unsaturated target molecule and we followed a consonant pattern. Now we can also follow a dissonant pattern. In this particular dissonant pattern, what we do is onto an alpha beta unsaturation system, at an alpha position it is being converted to an OH group. What we try to understand here is, in the previous system beta position OH was introduced, whereas here when I did a functional group interconversion onto an alpha position I have done a OH group introduction. Now let us try to understand this dissonant pattern. Carbonyl carbon is present, hence positively charged. The next carbon is negatively charged and the next carbon can be positively charged. But if I start with the opposite way, I can observe that there is a removal of a proton and then there is a positively charged species. If I remove this proton, I can get a positively charged species. When I see the next carbon, again, if I can observe that because there is a carbocation, there should be a presence of a negatively charged species. But oxygen will already carry a partially negative charge. Hence, the carbon that should be present here should have a partial positive charge. But that is not the case over here. Hence, it is following a non-superimposable pattern and hence that pattern is said to be a dissonant pattern. If through a dissonant pattern I want to do a synthesis, instead of getting an acetophenone or benzaldehyde as my starting materials, I can cut the molecule at this particular point where I can make use of two systems. That means I can make use of two benzaldehyde system which in the presence of base they will be reacting with each other. Now this is an aldol condensation. It's a very famous aldol condensation reaction in which we are trying to do a system where there is no presence of an alpha hydrogen and hence if there is a presence of 2-benzaldehyde system. In the presence of base, I can observe that there is an abstraction of a proton, and then in the presence of H plus and water, I can observe that there is an introduction of an OH group. That means with respect to beta position, there is an introduction of an OH group. Further, upon even CB elimination, I am going to get an alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl carbon. Now for example, through a consonant pattern, we can react acetophenone with benzaldehyde to give me an target molecule where it is alpha beta unsaturated compound. In the dissonant pattern also, two molecules of benzaldehyde are reacting with each other in the presence of a protonic environment and water. Further, following an even CB reaction, they are going to give me an alpha beta carbonyl compound. So this is the system that we try to understand through a consonant pattern and a dissonant pattern. In a consonant pattern, at beta position there is an introduction of an OH, whereas in the dissonant pattern of the cleavage of the system, at an alpha position we have introduced an OH group. Consonant pattern is said to be superimposable system, whereas dissonant pattern is said to be non-superimposable system. Both these patterns are said to be imaginary system through which we can just have an idea about the disconnection approach. Let us now try to understand the retrosynthesis of benzocaine. Now this particular molecule is a very important molecule in terms of retrosynthetic analysis. Retrosynthesis of benzocaine. Now this particular structure, it is an ester. With respect to benzoic ester, at a para position there is a presence of NH2. A common name for this particular example or the particular structure is called as benzocaine structure. Let us try to do the retrosynthesis of this benzocaine structure. This benzocaine structure will be learnt under functional group interconversions. Here we are not going to understand about the consonant or dissonant pattern, but a straightforward way of doing a functional group interconversion. Let us start with the target molecule. The target molecule is benzocaine. The first type of cleavage that we try to do is at an ester point. That means C single bond O ester is cleaved. Now we will be getting a positively charged carbonyl carbon and an ETO minus. These are the synthons. Their synthetic equivalents can be a carboxylic group and an alcoholic system, that is para-amino benzoic acid plus ethanol. Now ethanol is a very small molecule, it need not be cleaved or it need not do any functional group interconversion. So that starting material can be kept as it is. Now we can understand about this para-amino benzoic acid. It's a big molecule. Again we can cleave down this molecule. But before that, there is a presence of an NH2 system. We can write NH2 system in terms of an NO2 system under functional group interconversion through reduction. That means NO2 group can be reduced to NH2. Though now the compound that I will be getting is para-nitro benzoic acid. Further, I can observe that there is a presence of a carboxylic group. Upon functional group interconversion through an oxidation, we can introduce a CH3. In place of a carboxylic group, we have now introduced a CH3. Now what we will be getting is para-nitrotoluene. Now in this particular system, we have utilized both reduction and oxidation system. Let us now pick up this para-nitrotoluene. Can we do a retrosynthetic analysis? Definitely we can do a retrosynthetic analysis. On to cutting a C single bond N. Through a nitration system, I can get my starting material as toluene. So toluene is a commercially available system through which I can do a forward synthesis. Now the synthesis of benzocaine goes something like this. Toluene, when it reacts with HNO3 plus H2SO4, there is a nitration at a para position, hence giving me a para-nitrotoluene. This upon reaction with or oxidation with KMnO4, I can get a carboxylic system. That is methyl group gets oxidized to a carboxylic system. In the presence of hydrogen and palladium catalyst, the NO2 group is reduced to NH2 system. Further, because there is a presence of a carboxylic system, it can undergo an esterification in the presence of protonic environment, in the presence of ethanol, and by the removal of a molecule of water, I can get my target molecule as benzocane. So this is a classic example of understanding a functional group interconversion through an example of benzocane. If we want to understand about the functional group interconversions, we can understand them by various types of conversions. Now, for example, if there is a presence of oxidation, that means under the discussion of oxidation, I can observe that methyl group can be oxidized to aldehydic system. Methyl group can be oxidized to a carboxylic system. Alcoholic system can be oxidized to carboxylic system. Aldehydic system can be oxidized to carboxylic system. Secondary alcohol can be oxidized to a ketonic system. NH2 system can be oxidized to NO2. NO, that is nitrous group, can be oxidized to an nitro group. So this is the pattern of the oxidation system that we follow in the organic chemistry reactions. Upon reduction, carboxylic group can be reduced to an alcoholic system. Its respective carbonyl carbon can be converted to a secondary alcoholic system. That means if there is a presence of a ketone carbonyl carbon like this, it can be converted to a secondary alcohol system. Aldehydic system can be converted to an primary alcohol system. Aldehydic system can be reduced to CH2Cl, that is a chloride system. Carboxylic system can be reduced to CH3. A ketonic system can be completely reduced to a CH2 system. That means like a reaction called as Clemenson's reduction, where carbonyl carbon is removed completely and there is an introduction of 2 protonic system. Aldehydic system can be reduced to methyl system. Alcohol, CX3, CX2H, CXH2, NO2, CXH2, all this can be reduced to a methyl system. That means alcoholic system, we have any type of system containing a chloride system or a system containing an halogen system or a single halogen system. Everything of this can be reduced to a CH3 system. NO2 group and a nitrous system can be converted to a NH2 reduction. So in this way, under reduction also through the knowledge of organic chemistry, these are some of the examples that we can follow. In other systems that we try to follow is organometallic system. That means if there is a presence of RLi, alkyl system associated with a lithium, it can be converted to RBr. If there is a Grignard reagent, again I can convert it into an RBr system. That means presence of a organometallic system also, we can convert them to their respective systems containing a good leaving group like that of halogen system. The other types of functional group interconversions are, now in organometallic interconversions I observed that lithium was replaced by Br, MgX was replaced by Br. So this is one type of functional group interconversion, utilization of a organometallic reagent. Others can be carboxylic group can be converted to a COCl, that is acid chloride. Carboxylic group can be converted to an amide system. Amide system can be converted to CN system. CN system can be, C triple bond N system can be converted to carboxylic system. An acid chloride can be converted to a carboxylic system, and an aniline system can be completely converted to an or a reduced to a benzene system. So other systems can be converting one functional group into a other functional group for an easy disconnection. So in this particular discussion, we have tried to understand about functional group interconversions through oxidation, reduction, organometallic systems and other type of system. A very classic example of benzocane, through the retrosynthesis of benzocane and its synthesis we have tried to understand. Then we have tried to understand about the consonant pattern and the dissonant pattern, as to how imaginary way it can be help me to understand about the cleavage of the system. We have tried to understand about one alpha beta unsaturated system following through a consonant pattern and a dissonant pattern. We have also tried to understand the dissonant pattern with 1,4-dicarbonyl compound and a consonant pattern with 1,3-disubstituted compound. Before that, we try to understand about the latent polarity and their functional group interconversions, and we have looked into the pattern of functional group interconversions as FGT, FGR, FGA, and then even oxidation, reductions and substitution. So these are some of the transformations that we can try to understand in retrosynthetic analysis. In the next discussions, we will be going deeply through another type of functional group interconversions where we have an heteroatom. Thank you.